1号しかないか。そしたら、そのシュークロの壁をもうちょい廊下を広げる感じで8号を8号0だっけ、なんか玄関の扉と同じぐらいで考えてました。言えない
あれって何だっけ、画面共有じゃなくて、
はい、
あれ
のところでこう3分割するような感じ、収納
ちょっとすみません。はい。
1330あれば1100だから残るは3つにベビーカー4つでちょうどそこぴったりな収納になりそうですね。
めちゃくちゃ気になる。
I scrolled down the Insta page, saw a picture that I didn't want to see. He had his hand around your waist and a smile on your face, like the way you look at me. 'Cause only 8 months ago he was holding your hand, slow dancing and kissing the top of your head. And And I don't know how to compete with that, cause you were friends since you were kids and it still feels like we just only met. Yeah, I was so naive, thinking that you've only felt this way for me. You always tell me I'm the only one you wanna be with, so why can't I believe it? Yeah, old boyfriends kinda scare me, cause they all got a little bit of history with you. Even when you try to tell me I got no real reason to worry. My mind starts to imagine things that never happened. I start to believe that you're still in love with some other husband. Baby, I'm just asking, do you think I'm gonna be the last one? The last one. I've heard stories about exes calling up brides on their wedding day, professing all the love from a once upon a time that they threw away. And the fear that I'm fighting is constantly rising in the back of my mind, is that you'll finally open up your eyes, that you'll leave me for another guy. Yeah, it's a scary truth that maybe I don't know you in the way they do. You always tell me I'm the only one you wanna be with, so why can't I believe it? Yeah, old boyfriends kinda scare me, cause they all got a little bit of history with you. Even when you try to tell me that I got no real reason to worry. My mind starts to imagine things that never happened. I start to believe that you're still in love with some other has-been. Baby, I'm just asking, do you think I'm gonna be the last one? Do you think I'm gonna be the last one? Baby, the hardest part is fighting back this anxious heart. But I've come to realize that if we don't have trust, then we might as well have nothing. But old boyfriends still scare me. They all got a little bit of history with you. Even when you try to tell me I got no real reason to worry. My mind keeps on imagining things I know aren't happening. I start to believe that you're still in love with some other has-been. Baby, I'm just asking, do you think I'm gonna be the last one? Last one. Do you think I'm gonna be the last one? Ooh.
Maybe I should've let you go. I should've let you just walk on by. Never even said hi. No, no. That we would never know just how hard it feels to open up hearts, to have to let go. Why we can't turn back now, 'cause we've come too far to not leave the broken hearts. I guess something inside my soul just couldn't stand to let you walk away so easily. No, no. And maybe in time we can figure out just what these moments are all about. All we guaranteed is a little change. Oh, I don't want my heart to feel this way again. And I just need a little more time
おお、
to make
こんなイメージ
sure
です。
what
まさ
we're doing is right.
になんかこう廊下曲がって目の前に暖炉がバーンって見えてみたいな。
More time
自分の頭の中でこう例えば目を引くポイントが欲しいなとかって思ってスケッチを書いてるけど、実際にこうパースで立ち上がってくるとすごいそれがリアルに分かっていいですね。やっぱり天井が自分の目線で見るとこれぐらいの高さになるんだなとかいうところが分かってすごいいいですね。
We both got a lot to say, but the words escape. It never seems to be an easy way. No, no. I hope and pray we at least get just a one more dance. We decide to give this love a chance. Cause we got enough to try. We just need a little more time. Make sure we get it right. Oh yeah, and maybe in time we can figure out just what these moments are all about. All we guaranteed is a little change. Oh, I don't want my heart to feel this way again. And I just need a little more time to make sure what we're doing is right. Oh, I just need a little more time, Lord, to make sure that we're doing this right. Oh, I just need a little more time to make sure, yeah, what we're doing is right. Oh, I just need a little more time, yeah, to make sure